Today, we're boondocking in the wild heart of Northern California, which is home to stunning Mount Shasta. This iconic giant sits just 40 miles from the Oregon border, a 14,179-foot stratovolcano with 7 named glaciers. It'll make you feel small in its presence. But this mountain has another side to it as well. It's long been associated with UAP sightings, Bigfoot legends, and all kinds of spiritual retreats. And whether you're chasing the views, the hikes, or the unknown, you're gonna need a place to camp. And this week, we're seeking out the best boondocking around Shasta. We've never been to this area before. We've done what we can online to prepare ourselves, and today we're pulling everything we own hundreds of miles down the road to a place we've never been, to a spot that might not be there. It sounds terrifying when you put it like that, but it's not as scary as you think. If we prepare the right way, we can leave confident we'll land a killer spot. So stick with us as we explore boondocking around Mount Shasta, and I think you're going to be surprised at what we find. So let's jump right in.
We got our final morning going on with our elk. Just sitting here enjoying them. Well, I'm sitting here enjoying them. Brian, on the other hand, well, he's sick of the elk and ready to get out of here.
Today, we're at our last day at Elk Valley. Here, you can see him right here. There's the big guy.
There's the big one.
He is a gorgeous one.
Look at those antlers. They just look freaking painted.
That's amazing. So I'm finding our next spot, and I wanted to kind of show you a little bit of what we use. And if we have a big road trip coming up and we're going to a location that we're not familiar with, how we make sure that we're successful when we pull up to our spot. So this is the pre-scouted information that we have. Today, I already know that we want to be in this kind of Mount Shasta region. Darian's already picked out several locations here that can fit our rig. That's just not gonna be good enough though. Once we find a location, depending on who manages the land, we like to take a quick look at their website to see if there are any special rules or restrictions. Some of these areas can be closed for events, wildfires, or maintenance. What we did is we clicked on this, the Deer Mountain Chuck Best Sno-Park. Now, a couple things that we're looking for here is just right off the bat, is it closed? No, it's not. At a glance, it'll kind of give you, there's no fee. It'll give you the closest town, tent camping, trailer camping, picnic tables. The next thing in my head that I'm worried about is what does it look like on the map? So what we're gonna do is actually get so close to where we can actually see the situation for camping there. If you can imagine your rig on the street here pulling in, it looks like you can go to the right or the left, and here's the potted toilet, the Sno-Park lounge. So it looks like this has plenty of room for our rig. There isn't really a whole lot of other backups in the area right now. So this could be a risky move.
Closest backup looks like it's down here a little ways.
We are near the city of Weed, which is the Forest Service said is our closest town. I would say in this situation, because we don't have a nice little splattering of options, that our backup will likely be a pay site in town. Will we have to use that? I would say 95% sure that we will not. Northern California off the coast is not traditionally very busy in a lot of these areas. It's very country. We really enjoy the Northern California folk out here. Very laid back, not the hustle and bustle like it is on the coast. So we know everything's good there and we're okay with giving it a shot. So the next thing we want to do is we want to check the weather. Sometimes this can sneak up on you and it's not always obvious. I want to look at the high temperatures and the low temperatures for the area. When you're out in the west, pay really close attention to that, because in Oregon we had a 40-degree temperature difference every single day from the low to the high. And then if it's cold enough for snow, I look for that. This is all temperatures that we can definitely handle in the rig. The last thing that we want to do is map our current drive to where we want to go. What we're looking at is about a 3-hour and 40-minute drive to our location, which is totally doable. We like to keep it under 5. This is no problem. we're gonna bring you along. We want to show you the truest form of trying to find these spots.
You ready for travel day? California check.
No inspection today.
Woohoo! We got one friend here. Plenty of space.
Your destination is on the right.
We gotta go 3.75 inches up, so basically all the way. Stop! Okay, I'm gonna chalk them. Make sure to get those bad boys in. Sneezer, you got a yard again? I got a yard?
The Andersons do help, but you need these guys really dug in. Bada bing. Look at this slide, how this happens here. Look at this. I'm so sick of this. I need to get some slide work done this winter for sure. Or some seal work. Maybe some slide work too.
Deer Mountain Sno-Park. Pretty awesome spot.
Okay guys, we're at Chuck Best Sno-Park. Massive success. We got level, we're in here, the slides are out, and we are ready to enjoy this place. Looks like there's a lot of snowmobile trails and cross-country trails, things like that, so a lot of biking. Mount Shasta is so gorgeous. But guys, this is a really good example of boondocking success and preparing and doing your proper research and planning, and you can end up in spots like this where you cannot pre-scout and feel confident rolling up in here with your first choice, and I would say a lot of times getting it. That sure is nice. Are we going this way?
Yeah, I think so.
Cool.
We are currently staying at Deer Mountain Chuck Best Sno-Park, but the solar isn't the greatest, but we really like this area and there's a ton to do and explore. So right now we're going to get gas because, well, we need it, but also we might make it a scout mission to try to see if there's some other areas. And actually on this road that we're at, I noticed on iOverlander, I'm going to show you here on a second, but there's actually one at the end of this road, and we're going to see maybe if the solar's a little better. So here is the iOverlander app, and right now we're staying at this Deer Mountain Chuck Best Sno-Park, and here's us driving down the road. But here is one of the free camping areas that is shown on here, Upper Cougar Fire Road. So if you click on it, it just explains that it's a gravel turnout off the paved road, and then 3 miles down the road is the Sno-Park, which is where we are. So we're just gonna pull in here and see potentially if the solar might be any better.
We made it to the Upper Cougar Fire Road, and there are a few decent spots here, but I don't think it's anything that we're gonna move our rig from currently. It's not worth the hassle. It's definitely a contender. Listen, I'll tell you, it's a pretty tough climb up this hill to get to the Chuck Best Sno-Park. I would say if you wanted to get the same experience, you could probably achieve that right here. and because they do have a few fire pits here, it looks like a nice little ATV trail potentially. I think totally doable, although I think the train was coming in when we came through. So I don't know how often that is, but that would be pretty loud, potentially. So that's maybe something to think about. We did not hear the train at all yesterday.
We're on a quick little bike ride, and we are literally just right across the street from our Sno-Park, but over here too, we just noticed that it says RV parking as well. We got a sign here confirming 14 days, nothing about fees or anything, but check these out. They are full back ends, picnic tables.
Look at how big this spot is.
And they just circle around in here. Obviously, we don't want to be in here because of our solar, and it's Starlink. But it is an awesome area. If we were just doing our old thing, this is where we'd be.
Here, take a look. It's kind of cool if we keep it focused up. I think that's Mount Shasta in front of us, and then Shasta's behind it. It's all covered in cloud. We're scouting Mount Shasta, and we have a couple of locations that we're looking at today. We read on some reviews. This is one of those times where we saw that there was a lot of complaints about garbage. And sometimes, you know, they get around to cleaning that up. Sometimes those reviews are old. Sometimes it gets a lot worse. This is exactly where the reviews are 100% accurate. There's trash everywhere around us right now. All kinds of stuff. You know,
this should be probably one of the best spots on Campendium for or stays or whatever you use for this area. But because of the trash, it just doesn't make it that great. But the view is incredible.
It really is, and you know,
the access is easy.
I mean, I really doubt people that use this area are using it as a dump, but this is a huge disappointment. Really good reason why you read the reviews, why you come to an area with more than one location in mind, and why you always tow free scout when you have the option. This road is certainly not anything we're gonna take our rig down. We're retreating. We're gonna head to a different road just down the way with a similar view, and we'll see if it has less trash. Here's the next road we're gonna check out.
One road was on All Stays, one road was on Campendium, but it's all basically the same area.
Turning around, this one got bad in a hurry. There was about one spot up at the front. You know, it was really unlevel, and it did have a fire pit, but there's only one really viable spot, so it's not really a big contender. We're more than likely just gonna pass on this area. It's unfortunate because the view is cool. Well, this scouting mission, we struck out just a couple of quick spots. Just on our way to town, running some errands. It's always a good thing to do, you know, when you're out running errands. If there's a couple of roads you can, you know, shoot down real quick to see if they're viable options, it's something that we always do. I wanted to show you a couple more camping options. Pilgram Creek Sno-Park is on the southeast side of the mountain. And just like Chuck Best, Pilgram Creek also allows overnight camping, and it'll be connected to all the same trail systems as well. Next up is Bunny Flats Ski Bowl. We scouted this area, however, we would not camp here. The road is steep for a travel trailer, although I will say it can be done. But honestly, we didn't see many spots. We feel this is more for hikers and van life folks. So today we scouted 7 locations around Mount Shasta, and we gave our honest take on each. And all of these GPS locations will be in the description below. But just remember, when you're scouting for spots, the trashiest people often seem to be the laziest. The weed camping areas 1 and 2 were littered with garbage, but it's the same old story. The spots closest to the city and right off the highway always get hit the hardest with trash. But I would never let that discourage you from getting out there and giving it a shot. Whether you're visiting for the physical grandeur, the recreational diversity, or the spiritual significance, Mount Shasta shouldn't disappoint you. And I hope this video helped you find what you're looking for, and if it did, make sure you give it a thumbs up and leave your comments below. We always love hearing from you guys. And if we don't see you out there, we'll see you in the next one.